Welcome, everybody. We're going to have some interesting, fascinating conversation and learn some insights about the amazing Beijing duo. Thank you for the concert last night. And first question, I guess, is how did you two meet? How did you start playing together? And why are you still playing together?
Well, we've known each other for a long time,
Yeah.
and I think I was 5 when I first started playing guitar. And Yameng, she's a couple years ahead of me, and she was very famous in China at the time. She had just won the Tokyo International Competition at age 12. And it was an open division and a big deal, 3 rounds and like an hour of repertoire. And the second prize winner, he was like 30 something. So it was like big news, and it made national news actually. So it was a great boost for inspiration also for all the children and their parents to keep, supporting the children to this guitar education. So yeah, I mean, then I got better, and then so we always had the same teachers. And we actually came from the same cities, the Qingdao, famous for the ocean, the architecture, and the tea, the beer. So she was in Beijing when I started already. And so a couple years later, I went to Beijing to study with the same teacher again, Professor Chen. But she was always a couple of years ahead of me, and she went on to go to France and Italy, Spain to perform, to compete. So she was the role model of all the kids. And we want to be one day like Yameng. And well, I did. So one day I became the student who went abroad and compete. And like 10 years later, I won the Tokyo when I was 17. So it's a nice footstep to follow. And we started playing together maybe
when you were like 16.
Yeah, maybe when I was 16. So we would play concerts. The teacher would bring students to concerts, and sometimes most time everyone would play a solo, and sometimes there's duos. I would say it's really nice that we always had this ensemble playing as a very important element in concerts. So it would always be, solo, duo, quartet in the concert, like a student showcase. And you play with lots of people and lots of my fellow students. Eventually it was me, and then that stopped. So she stuck with me for until now. And yeah, it was really nice learning experience, and to rehearse together. We would have long hours of rehearsals, basically learning the pieces together. When in 2006, I graduated from high school. So that's when we got the invitation to audition for Peabody Conservatory here in Baltimore. And we got 4 eyes, and that's when we came. And you were here for your master's, and I was for my undergrad. A couple years later, 3 years later, we were signed by an agent in New York City. So we started touring, and we started touring and studying at the same time. So in the end, on and off, I studied there with Maestro Barreco for 12 years. And, we just go out to play concerts and come back to take lessons, which is a great challenge and a great experience. So yeah, now we have grown. I'm not 5 anymore, and my kid is not even 5. I have a 10-month boy, and Yameng's children is over there. So we each have families and still keep playing, and which is, I think, is really precious.
Yeah, must have been exciting to play with your hero.
Yeah, I mean, not anymore, but it was very exciting. I remember I was scared even, because she didn't like to laugh and smile. And she always, because some of my the older students, they play with her, and I was always so envious. I was one day I'd be playing there in duo. But yeah, it feels great.
Yeah. And do you still play any music now that you played back then, that you have played on and off
Actually,
for the whole time that you've been together? Do you have favorite repertoire? This was the first piece we played together. Do you remember the first piece you played together?
the
First one is the Scarlatti, I think. But the Tango Suite, yes, we played like long time.
Yeah.
Yes. When we were in Beijing.
I think the Niatali we played last night, Through Shadows, and the Tango Suite by Piazzolla, they are the two most substantial duo repertoire. I think we started playing the two movements of the Niatali, so the third and last, and the Tango Suite, yes. So it has been on and off for some years.
Yeah.
Michael, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So you talked about Barwaco. I wondered who your other main teachers were and you also, you said that she went to France. Did you
She
study
went
in
to France and Spain and Italy to compete and to
I
give
see.
concerts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But who were your, when you went to Baltimore, who did you study with there?
Baltimore was Mr. Barreco.
Barwaco?
Yeah.
In Baltimore?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I thought it was in New York. Oh,
Yeah,
Peabody.
he teaches.
Peabody.
oh yeah. Oh, I see. Oh, cool. And you studied with the Barwaco too?
Yes.
Oh.
So always same teachers. The same teacher in Qingdao, same teacher in Beijing, same teacher in Baltimore.
I see.
How much do you rehearse together now? How frequently do you play concerts as a duo?
We played this year, I think around 12, 15. I also play solo, and we played for the first time after many years in China. We did a tour. Not very much to rehearse, because Yang lives in Dallas, I'm in San Francisco, and it's difficult. During the pandemic, we used to send each other videos, recordings, for the other one to play along and to try. And different speed. It's like practice together.
Yeah.
But real time, there's always a lag, so not possible. Now we just get together like a day before the concert, or if we're on tour, then easier. Every day, like 2 hours.
And how frequently do you learn new pieces as a duo? Because that takes much more time, much more.
Yeah, like we used to think, okay, we're going to change the program completely. This season, next season, whole new program. But then with all the things we're doing, like also I'm having solo programs as well, it's difficult to change like at the same time. So it's better one piece at a time.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to change our dual program slowly next year. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, we're definitely going to change them.
What music inspires you that you want to play? What duo repertoire?
I mean, we played pretty much all the dual repertoire. The one style we haven't played much is the classical period. We played some of the Soar, the La Croix, really nice piece, and Giuliani. I think we're gonna dig into Giuliani. Yeah.
And what about arrangements? Do you arrange music for the duo?
Yeah, I try to listen as much as possible from orchestral works and piano works. There's one by Corigliano that is on my list. It's a chaconne, I think, it's about 10 minutes long. I think it would be great for two guitars. And the one thing on our bucket list, well, there are a couple. First is the 555 Scarlatti sonatas. It's gonna take a while. The 24 Preludes and Fugues by Castelnuovo Tedesco. That'll be easier, but still, like that would take two CDs.
Yeah.
Then the Goldberg variations, that's yeah. But we're trying to look at WTCs or Word Tempo Clavier, but I talked to Sergio and he said it's a challenge because you have to honor the original keys and Then in the end he had to use I think a Terrax guitar, so a third up. But we're gonna look into that and see. So the arrangement has been made by Sergio, but it's just different guitars.
Yeah. And what about new music? Have you had music written for you as a duo? Have you commissioned music?
Yeah, a couple of years ago, the Chinese-American composer Chen Yi wrote us a piece called Chinese New Year's Paintings, and we've been performing it, around the New Year's, which is usually January, February. It's very much like pipa, and I think the non-guitarist composers, they get inspirations from the Chinese instruments a lot. Like the Seven Desires or the E2 Concerto by Tan Dun. It's like a conversation between the Eastern instruments, like pipa and all these pluck instruments, and also flamenco guitar, and all the dances and the fires, And I think that they get inspiration a lot from these very different elements, and they try to explore the techniques on the guitars. With the Chinese New Year's painting, there's lots of strumming and one-finger tremolando, which was difficult. I had to learn.
Are you the key?
Yeah, you haven't decided.
I cannot do this so long, 3 pages music.
Yeah.
So I use the.
Yeah, but usually they have great effects. We used to not liking playing that piece because it's so, tiring. But it has great effects. Audience love that piece.
Yeah. And do you consider, how do you feel about your Chinese heritage in terms of the music that you perform and living in this country? Do you try to take advantage of that? Do you like to celebrate that?
Yeah, I think, the name speaks for it. I mean, the Beijing Guitar Duo. And we are expected to play some Chinese music. That's what I see on the road. That's why we brought back the Tan Dun piece we played last night, 8 Memories in Watercolor, which is a gorgeous, gorgeous piece. I think, not so much about my Chinese heritage, but studying the guitar from such a young age, I get nightmares if I don't practice. Do you do? No. She and I are different. I always say that Yang has microwaved hands. So it's like you're shooting basketball. Some people need to warm up for about half hour. And she doesn't need to do that. She gets warmed up very quickly. And also, for example, she has great tremolo, but she doesn't practice them every day. Her tremolo is
before.
Yeah, well, you practiced years ago, but we used to play this trick. I would turn on the metronome from 250, 8th note, so like 1 beat, 2 notes. Then I would turn the metronome. It would later be 250 quarter notes, so 1 beat, 4 notes, which is pretty unbelievable. It's not only about the speed. She can play the evenness, the articulations. But what surprises me is that she doesn't do that every day. And she used to criticize my tremolo for years, being very mean. But I was encouraging, yeah, in a very mean way. No, yeah, I would practice, slowly, and she would, come around. She would say, "Oh, is that dotted rhythm?" But
Now you.
yeah, well, actually, last time when I was playing Roberto's solo, she was sitting in the audience and she said, "Wow, now it's better." So last time we did an encore of the Roberto's for 2 guitars. Yeah.
So you feel like you need to practice more than she does.
Oh yeah. And also for me, like mentally, I would feel, oh, it's like, oh, I've eaten today, or I've exercised today. It's like a thing you must do.
Yeah.
And reality teaches me, like, say if I go on vacation for a couple of days, I don't bring my guitar or my practice guitar, my hands would be so stiff that it would take probably triple the time to recover from that.
And you miss playing. I miss playing if I don't practice. I remember I read an interview with Ben Verdery, who said that he would go on vacation with the family and not bring a guitar. But then after some time, his family said, no, you have to bring the guitar. Because being around him if he was not practicing was difficult for them. He thought that he was taking a vacation, but it was obvious that he needed to play.
Oh, I guess it's different for everyone. Well, Zoran told me every year before, his vacation in the summer, he would clip off his nails, like, well, this one, completely off. So don't even think about it.
Wow. One of the questions that we had was about your nails. Do you do anything to strengthen your nails? Do you find that they wear down because of the amount that you play? Do you have any?
I can't speak for that because I have, natural strong nails. They don't get wear out. But one thing I could share is that I used to make this mistake of, okay, let's file the nails when they need to be filed. Like they're too long to be, playing. But later I find you gotta do this every day. So it's like we're training ourselves. Like imagine we're runners, like we sprint, but you cannot run with different length legs every day. The legs keeps growing, and you're training. That doesn't really make sense. So I try to, like every day, take about 2 minutes to file them a little bit down to where it was the day before. Try to keep the same length. Yavon has more fragile nails. Yeah.
Now it's much better. But when I was young age, my nails were very thin and fragile, and at that time I practiced a lot. So it's basics to nails. And my former teacher, Professor Chen, he made me to drink you said the chai.
Oh, so there's a saying in Chinese. Well, the condition was she was practicing about 10 hours a day, and the nails 8 hours a day, and the nails just got worn out, and she has very thin nails. So they come up with
competition.
You have also competition concerts coming up, and they would come up with every way possible. Like, okay, drinking bone soup, get calcium, seafood, shellfish.
Sunshine.
Yeah, and eventually they run out of solutions. And there's a saying in Chinese, you are what you eat. So guess what she ate?
Nails.
I tried.
Well, yeah, they tried once. That's the story. So she drank some nail powder. For real. And did it help? Don't
Maybe
try
that's
that.
it. My teacher, when I was a kid, told me to eat gelatin, like jelly you buy in England we buy in the grocery store, and then you just add hot water and mix jelly. But I would eat those cubes. But
Did it help?
I have no idea. I enjoyed it. Sweet, sugary.
And Michael, didn't Reed try that and then he said that it made his nails brittle?
So I don't know. I haven't heard that story. Yeah. Questions?
I have a question. The performance last night was amazing, and I particularly noticed that, at least from my perspective, was flawless. I often really fear the mistakes that I make when I play in front of people, which is very seldom. I wonder how do you deal with that, and how much harder it could be for a duet when one mistake happens and two people have to adjust to it or circumvent it.
Yeah. I mean, people would ask, how do you not make mistakes? We do make mistakes. I mean, there were tons of mistakes that you just couldn't tell. The secret is we have poker faces. You don't show it first. And then you do something more beautiful immediately to cover it up. But for us, the music has, also we played it memorized for the ensemble, which is not easy. But we have this agreement from years ago that if one messes up, the other one keep playing. You just keep going. The music never stops, and the other one will eventually, hopefully, after a bar or two, just get back. But also that's not very good. So we try not to let that happen. I guess.
Does that happen?
Yeah, it still happens. So there's many aspects to performance anxiety. Also, I've thought a lot about it. I'm still thinking about it, like every performance, about the mental state. Over the years, we've done many terrible, horrible mistakes on stage, but I actually discovered that it's okay. It's not like we're operating a surgery. This is beautiful music, and people from different lives, they come together, and like last night, we all came together and to celebrate music in the same place, and we're breathing the same air and the same time. So it's a really beautiful thing. So I try to find energies from the audience instead of, okay, I'm a little afraid to make mistakes. No, I think you need to convert a little bit the mindset. Also, need to perform more. This happens with my students as well. They ask me, they just had a departmental recital a couple of days ago, and all of them make mistakes. And they were mistakes I kept repeating to them in the lessons, and they still make them. So it's just a matter of how frequent you perform. I think we always practice, but that's not performing. So we practice practicing. We also need to practice performing. So that's actually a very simple theory. Are you used to perform or play in front of people under stress? That's very rare, right? That's much rarer than our daily practice. And in your practice, you're most comfortable. You probably have a cup of tea, a cup of coffee around you, and you're in a setting that you're very familiar with. You don't have people staring at you. So it's very comfortable and focused state. But when you're performing, it's not. You're distracted, you're self-conscious, you're not focused. That's what I find. So all the outside stimulations make us unfocused. So that's what I try to do as well, the breathing before going on stage. So I would try to do some breathing exercises and kind of just focus, find my focus state of mind.
Manuel was here several years ago and taught a class, and somebody asked him if it was true that he can play a whole concert with just his right hand, like his whole program.
Oh.
He has his right hand memorized. And he laughed and said no, and then said, yeah, it's true. And he said because if he found in a concert, if he's in the middle of the concert, if he started to get nervous, which is that his focus was drifting, he would just concentrate on his right hand. Oh yeah, okay, everything's good. And just brings him back in the moment. Do you have strategies like that in a concert? If you're playing as a duo and one of you makes a mistake and you're distracted, do you have ways to bring yourself back into the moment? I
I think I try to think we're playing or we're playing together to the music instead of playing with each other.
Mhm.
So that's why when one makes a mistake, the other one keeps going. It's not keeps going, it's just it never stops. I believe Manuel because he is our role model. He's our idol growing up, and we would have this exercise of playing along with a recording tape. It was cassettes back then. So our teacher would make excerpts from like the same section from different masters, even from recordings. He would put it on one cassette. And the most recordings we heard and played along was Manuel's recording. Like all the pieces, his was the standard that we should, copy pretty much. And studying with him is not only how he would tell us every week, but to see how he is doing it, every day. There was a period of time we each stayed in his house he stayed for a couple of months, I would stay for a couple of weeks. And every morning in my bedroom, I would hear, which is next to his practice room, I would hear like around 6:36, he started practice. And I just couldn't sleep. I better start, practice as well. Who would think, accomplished and, famed musician would still get up at 6 and practice. So I myself learned a lot from him, just watching him practice and, do things very diligently and smart also. He would take breaks and every 45 minutes, break, and he would listen to music and watching the some music videos, and it's a great. I still feel every time I see him, it's a great experience, a learning experience.
Where else do you draw inspiration?
At this point, I think for me it's all the arts and the nature as well. So it's not like I intentionally connect those elements, but they would come to me. Like, for example, the leaves I saw outside today, it was beautiful. So that color might come to me sometime when some music, I'm playing some music, like the Petit Suite we did last night, the WC. There was lots of nuanced colors, and the first movement is called La Bateau, which is on the boat, and you could see even the water, the clarity, perhaps a little green, perhaps a little blue, some pink. There are many colors, and I think it just connects to the paintings a lot. So we try to go to museums as much as possible, like when we travel. All arts and movies as well, stories. I told my student who was doing, what was he playing? Oh, some piece. I said, do you have a story? It's like you have to be telling a story. Then how do you design the beginning, the development, the ending, the climax, and everything like that. So stories, movies, basically emotions. Yeah.
How much do your performances change from concert to concert? Do you ever find, because of the acoustic or the space or something, makes you approach the music differently, perhaps in the moment? And do you ever find that one of you seems to be going in a direction and the other one follows? Or do you always try to?
It's weird. I think we always come in pairs. So if we don't feel good, it's both of us. So if we feel good, it's both of us too. Obviously, the acoustics affects a lot. Like last night, it was great at the Benaroya Hall. It's just perfect for amplified guitars, and on the stage, we could feel like our sounds were filling up the hall, which is very inspiring. And the audience were very warm, and it's a really great experience. As we play, we get more relaxed, and it's really a wonderful feeling. Sometimes, when the stage is very dry, you don't get any reverbs or resonance. It could be challenging. Like say playing an auditorium, you amplify, but you don't hear anything back like a monitor. What else? No, you get inspiration before going on stage. Yeah, I mean, yes.
I played in a duo with Mark Teicholz for a few years. Have you ever played with Mark?
Oh yeah, I love Mark.
Yeah,
Mark,
but he changes things every night. Change fingerings, change phrasing, crescendo today, diminuendo tomorrow.
Yeah,
staccato today,
that's Mark.
legato tomorrow, which was very challenging and enjoyable and annoying at the same time.
Yeah.
Do you ever do that when you're rehearsing? Do you ever try new ideas? Do you play games with each other?
Now she is the boss.
Really? You should fight back.
Before we fight a lot.
Yeah.
But now, like, yeah. But she.
When we have very little time, I would send her, like, because the fingerings are very important. Like, say, if she has a melody and then I have another melody, and the phrasing needs to match up with each other. So I would, actually, just for those very limited time, I would write down fingers and send to her, like doing her homework. Yeah.
Mark and I played the Tedesco Canonica,
Yeah.
and I was playing second, and he would change articulations every night, and I had to try to match what he was doing.
Yeah.
So, but one of you is always in charge.
I think I am the one in charge, like in terms of getting more and more. Okay, I'm getting more and more annoying. That's what she said. I think I would come from an angle that is best for the ensemble. So usually she gets the first guitar. It's not like, okay, I'm gonna get all the beautiful, passages. No, she gets the first guitar because she has a slightly brighter sound. Also, her guitar also is a little brighter, and I have a naturally warm, darker sound, so that's better for the basses. And I feel like I could hear her more clearly if she's playing the higher pitches, so I can criticize her more. But I think it's a nice balance. Also, we exchange, melodies like the valses poeticos, for example. But the phrasings, I'm very particular with the phrasing and the dynamics too. So during a rehearsal, there's lots of conversation about those.
Yeah.